What's up, losers? Today I'm back with another r/fatlogic fiesta. Checking out a couple of interesting or amusing posts, sharing my opinions on them, and having plenty of fun along the way. This is episode 132 in the fatlogic series. And I've got a tasty selection of posts prepared for this one. So without further ado, let's get into it.
This time last year, Redacted was wearing a 3T. He's in a size 8 in boys now. What's going on? The child is 3.
Boys grow so fast, and sizes are a social construct, made to make us feel like crap. I wish sizes didn't exist, to be honest.
God, it pains me to my soul every time one of these fat activists brings out the "it's a social construct" line, to justify whatever stupid point they're trying to make. As if just noting that things are socially constructed totally invalidates them, and exposes the people who make use of them. Because, it doesn't work that way. Like, at all. Obviously clothing sizes are socially constructed. How could they not be? It only makes sense that the labels we assign to things like clothes have to be decided on by people, and can only exist so long as people agree to recognize them. This is not a remotely surprising or profound revelation, and it's not one that I have any interest in disputing, because I'm not looking to be a contrarian just for the sake of being a contrarian. Even when I acknowledge the social constructedness of sizes, however, it does not change the fact that if the boy to whom this post refers no longer fits in the same size clothes as he did before, he has physically, objectively, gotten bigger. There's absolutely nothing to be gained by pointing out that sizes are a social construct. Because even if we were living in a world where there were no clothes and no clothing sizes, he would still have gotten bigger. And anyone with a functioning brain can figure that out. I also have to disagree with the post's claim that sizes, as a social construct, are, quote, made to make us feel like crap. Because, well, it's clearly not right, is it? Sizes exist to tell us how big clothes are, and to help us find clothes that will actually fit us, without having to try on like 100 unmarked items. They're actually an incredibly useful thing to have, and I find it hard to believe that the poster is sincere in stating that they wish sizes didn't exist, because like that would totally suck. Right, imagine how much longer clothes shopping would take. I don't know about anyone else, but I've got better things to do. So really, it couldn't matter less to me that sizes are a social construct. Because they work, and I'm glad to have them. No doubt the reason this person feels that sizes are intended to make people feel bad is because that is how sizes make them feel, due to their own bodily insecurities. While I am not unsympathetic to the negative emotions someone might experience when going up a size without meaning to, or seeing how much bigger their clothes are than their friends, I think it's important to point out that once again, the operative factor here is not the sizes themselves. It is the person's own body, and how big it actually is. Even without sizes, putting on weight is still putting on weight. Being bigger than your friends is still being bigger than your friends. So taking aim at the whole concept of sizes seems remarkably immature and unproductive to me. It's basically just shooting the messenger, and it doesn't achieve anything. So all in all, I don't agree with this poster on what the point of sizes is. I don't agree with the idea that we would be better off without them. And frankly, I think they would be better off working on their own issues than getting mad at the whole concept of measurement. But that's just my opinion.
CW, capitalist fat shaming. Hey y'all, not cottagecore, but this is the only group where I feel safe talking about this. I'm currently wedged into a seat on a plane from Amsterdam to the US, and started crying because I barely fit Read, don't fit without my hip lifting the armrest. And can hardly get the seat belt to latch. How do y'all deal with this? I mean, it's everywhere. Chairs don't fit us. But this is expensive. For the cost of an international flight, a person should expect a seat that accommodates them, without having to pay extra for an upgraded seat. Or buy 2 seats. And the average seat width is down to 17 inches. Formerly 18.5 inches. So it's getting worse. I texted my partner in tears. And he went off on how sick it is that capitalist greed makes people feel this way, trying to get more money out of customers, rather than treating them like human beings. He's the best, and I appreciate it, but I still hate this feeling. Edited to add, thank you so much for all your support and solidarity. It means such a great deal to me. Gentle reminder that most people, including me, cannot afford to pay for first/business class upgrades, or even to front the cost of 2 economy seats, with the expectation that the second seat will be refunded. And again, even those of us who can afford it, should not have to pay more than our smaller fellow travelers. The tips on Southwest, and other airlines, offering free reseating to give extra space, are great. It seems they learned their lesson after the catastrophe with Kevin Smith, which is gratifying.
My first comment on this post is very simply that the situation in which the poster has found themselves definitely sounds like an unpleasant one. And I do feel bad for them for having to go through such discomfort. And most likely embarrassment. It's a shame that these things happen. And if I could wave my magic wand and make all such problems go away, I'd do it in a heartbeat. Unfortunately, that's not the world we live in. Increasing the sizes of the seats on flights would, as I have explained many times, raise costs for all of the other passengers. Whether this was the intention of the fat activists pushing for bigger seats or not. It costs money to fly an airplane. A lot of money, in fact, and these costs have to be met by ticket sales. More seats, fewer tickets, more expensive tickets. It's really not hard to understand, and I have to believe that at least some of these fat activists do understand what it is that they're asking of their fellow passengers. They just don't want to draw attention to it, because they know that it will reflect badly on them. I take issue with the constant refrain of capitalist greed when this issue comes up, because it only serves to obfuscate the actual proposition that these fat activists are putting forward, and how obviously self-serving it is. Like, let's be real, these people are not, for the most part, actual anti-capitalists, taking aim at profit-driven industry as a whole. I mean, obviously they don't have any issue with the equally profit-driven junk food industry, which is responsible for immeasurably more social harm than tight airplane seats, and from which they shamelessly and excessively consume. No, they are just petitioning for bigger seats, at the same price, because the current seats are personally inconvenient for them, because they don't want to pay extra for the bigger seats of business class, like anyone else would, because they either don't know, or don't care, that this would impose an unfair burden on all of the thin people, who don't need or want bigger seats, and just want to be able to fly cheaply. And, most crucially of all, because no matter how much trouble it causes for them, and for the people around them, they simply refuse to lose weight. I will always try to be empathetic towards people who end up in bad situations, like this poster, because no matter what happens, we are all humans, and I'm sure that there are things that have led them to such a point in their life that I do not understand. But I must admit, when I'm dealing with people who are simultaneously self-indulgent, self-righteous, and unwilling to take even a morsel of responsibility for their own actions, choosing instead to shift the blame, and in this case, the bill, onto everyone else, my patience starts to wear a little thin. Like, yeah, it sucks that you can barely fit in your airplane seat, but I'm not to blame for that. None of the other passengers are to blame for that. And the airline is not to blame for wanting to make a profit. rather than providing charity to fat people. So all that's left for me to say is, lose weight, or be willing to pay more. Sorry, that's all I've got.
You can't say anything about fat phobia online without fatphobes and pro-ana weirdos dogpiling the shit out of you and trying to get you cancelled for skinny shaming and promoting obesity.
Well, I can't speak to this person's experience online. It may well be the case that they have had some unfortunate encounters with assholes. And I can't deny that people do sometimes get a little overzealous in calling out fat activists for any minor comment. Even I am sometimes guilty of this, I suppose, though I do try my best to be charitable when I can. For what it's worth, though, a lot, and I'm tempted to say most, online fat activists, straight up do promote obesity. And a sizable chunk also engage in what might reasonably be termed skinny shaming. I don't tend to use that term much, because I think that we have bigger fish to fry, but it's not like it's something that never happens. And I don't think it's unfair for people who are genuinely being treated badly to call this out. I mean, are they supposed to just take it? 'Cause that doesn't seem fair, does it? My last little comment on this one is, I have to raise an eyebrow at pro-ana weirdos, not because I doubt that there are some pro-ana weirdos out there, but because fat activists have so consistently mislabeled perfectly healthy thin people as eating disordered, that I have little confidence in their ability to provide a neutral or realistic assessment of who is and is not a pro-ana weirdo, if the people this person is referring to are legitimately pro-ana. Then they need help, and I'm sorry for doubting the post. But if they're just pro-diet and anti-obesity, then that's not pro-ana, no matter how you spin it. But like I say, I can't know either way, so I'll just say that I remain skeptical, and leave it at that. Well, that's all I've got for you today. I hope you had a nice time reading through the posts with me, and that you derived some value from my commentary. What do you think? Would the world be a better place if clothing sizes didn't exist? Is charging more for bigger seats on airplanes capitalist greed? Is it possible to talk about fatphobia online without being harassed by weirdos? Let me know in the comments. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe, or I'll dogpile the shit out of you, and try to get you cancelled for skinny shaming. Just kidding, haha. Anyway, catch you later.